Hello and welcome back. Today we have a little bit of an impromptu video that I decided to throw together at the last minute, so apologies for the mess. It's kind of a disaster down here. But I wanted to give a quick video on the process that I took to repair this TV. I had initially bought it with the intent of doing a walkthrough video for the channel, kind of giving you the steps necessary to fix the TV. But ultimately it ended up being much more complicated than I had originally thought, and so I didn't record the process. But now that it's done, I kind of wanted to go back through and do a quick sort of a summary of the repair process and kind of let you know what I did in case you run into this yourself down the road and want to try to tackle fixing one of these TVs as well. So to give a little bit of background on this TV, I came across it on Facebook Marketplace. I usually kind of peruse Marketplace periodically looking for broken handhelds and that kind of thing. This one came across and it was posted that it had a broken backlight. Usually backlights on these TVs, while they're fairly sort of an invasive process, it's usually pretty much a guaranteed success that it'll fix it. Basically, usually what happens is one or more of the LEDs in the back will just short out, which causes the TV to detect a short, and the TV will turn on, but the backlights won't turn on. And usually you can fix that with a bit of a flashlight. You just take a flashlight up close, shine the flashlight somewhere in there, and you can try to see a ghosting of the image. Usually that's pretty much a guarantee that the backlight's bad. Take it apart, swap those out, and you're good to go. But after I told the seller that I was interested in the TV, he sent me a video showing me the problem. I'm gonna put it in the video here to show you exactly what I had seen when he sent it to me. What I could tell from the video, which you could probably see, is that the backlight did in fact turn on. You could see the backlight turn on. You could also see ghosting in various other spots. So what it looked to me was not that there was an issue with the backlight, but rather there was an issue with driving the actual display itself. You could tell, it had focus, various spots of the TV would blur, maybe on the bottom, and then towards the top, as the TV was trying to show an image. It was showing the backlight for it, but there just was no image. So, I didn't really know potentially what might be the problem, but I figured I'd give it a shot. So I bought it, brought it home, hooked it up. Sure enough, seeing the backlight ghosting on the TV. So I started doing some troubleshooting. We'll take a look back here. And let's kind of just walk through the steps of this TV really quickly. So I am not a TV expert at all. I can fix it, but I don't know, I'm not a good repair guy, I guess. So some of my terminology might not be quite right. But basically, what we can see here is we have power that comes in to this board here, and this board will power out into this, which is the driver for the backlights. And you can see there that it has black ribbon cables that spread out and ultimately go into the back of the TV in a number of spots over there as well as over here. And the power board also has this multicolor one here, which goes over and powers the main board. And this has all of your inputs, your HDMI component, that kind of thing. And it is ultimately what provides the guts, I guess, of what's ultimately going to be driven on the TV. And from here, if we come down, there's this big silver cable. It comes over, down, and into here. And this is your T-con board. This effectively is what takes the signal from the main board and splits it out into two, I believe they're like LCD buffer boards down here on both sides. And this is what splits that out and provides those the signal needed to actually display on the TV. Now, during my troubleshooting process, I knew that because the backlight was properly glowing where it needed to be, that I was pretty sure the main board worked and the backlight board worked, which also meant that likely the power supply board worked as well, which ultimately led me to believe that it was an issue with the T-con board. So I started doing some troubleshooting on the T-con board, and one of the first things I did was I unhooked the right cable that goes down to the right buffer board. I unhooked that from the T-con board and turned on the TV. And I took a picture of what I saw, and you can see it here. As you can see, removing the right board caused the TV, or removing the right ribbon cable caused the TV to boot, only showing this half of the display and leaving this half white. So the next logical step was to plug this one in, unplug this one, try it again. I did that, and I got nothing. The TV just showed the exact same thing that it did before, showed some ghosting. So the next step I tried was I removed the cable from the T-Con board altogether and also tested it out. And in this way as well, I got nothing on the display. So, thinking about it for a bit, I figured it's got to be an issue with the T-Con board. So, hopped onto eBay, bought a replacement T-Con board, and here it is. Apologies for the lighting going on here. So I bought, actually this is the original one. Had the original one, bought this one down here for the replacement board. And again, same thing, hooked it up, exact same symptoms. Nothing appeared to be any different. So at this point I was really starting to think that the TV was shot. It really kind of seemed to me like potentially this board, the driver board down here, or the buffer board, whatever it's called, was bad. I don't know. So, and these boards are connected with a number of tabs that the board will connect to the display with some cables that have been, machined adhered, I guess, to the board. Not something normally you can fix. I guess it's done with, a multi-million-dollar piece of equipment. Don't really know, if there's a good, easy way to fix that. I did kind of run my finger over it, trying to make sure that I had a good, solid connection, that none of the tabs have lifted up. Everything seemed fine. I didn't see any burns on any of the boards anywhere. So I kind of figured, it had to be that the panel had just, given up the ghost. But didn't want to give up just yet, so I hopped online, did a little more looking, and one of the last things I found talked about using Scotch tape and masking some of the pins to see if you can get it to boot. Now, I don't know the technical details behind it. I just found the video and thought, give it a shot. There were a whole bunch of comments that said, hey, I tried this and it worked. Most of them were around an issue of sort of a double image. You were getting sort of a ghosting image all over the display. And in my case, I wasn't getting any image at all, but I figured, hey, let's give it a shot. So this board, or this connector, seemed fine because this whole half of the board seemed good. This one is what started to seem like it had issues. So what I did was I took the cable out, grabbed a strip of masking tape, or Scotch tape, stuck it on there, tried it. Made no difference. Sliced off, maybe half a millimeter or a millimeter worth of tape on it, tried it again, didn't work. Didn't work. Tried it for maybe a half hour, had no luck. Finally, decided to try it again on the other half of the display. Tried it up, booted it up. TV started, got half an image, but this side was still black. But that was a step better than what I had seen before. So I proceeded to keep trying, shaving a little millimeter strip off, a little more. Started to notice something interesting. I still got a full image on this side, and I still got a black image on this side, but I started to notice some weird ghosting up at the top. So I thought maybe I was making progress. Shaved a bit more, and a bit more, and a bit more. And you can't really see it in the video. I will try to post a picture of it. I did take one when I still had it taken apart. But I shaved off a little more, turned it back on, and somehow it magically worked. So let's go ahead and turn this on, and let's just make sure, after all that history, that it still is working. Let's turn this on. And looks like we're still good. Let it boot all the way. And no signal, but that's okay. Oops. Sure. Let's check out YouTube. Here here we go. We can see everything appears to be working amazing. So I'm actually going to start one of these videos. I'm not going to play through it because obviously I don't want to get bit with copyright. But what I want to do is just bring one of these up. All right, this is good. So as we can tell, we have an image across the full display. So this is great. This is way better than I thought I would have gotten with this. Now, if we notice, I'm not sure how well this is going to show in video. Let's see if I can zoom in here a little bit from the side. You may be able to see it a little bit here in the dark, like in some of the blacks of the trees. I don't have my SLR on me for zooming. But what there is there's, and I'll see, maybe I can see if I can get a picture of it, and I'll try to interlay it here about this point in the video. But what's happening is we've got a gorgeous 4K display. The brightness is great. There's no flicker. Everything seems to be good. But I'm apparently covering, maybe one of the data pins. And so I've got some lines. Some of the horizontal lines in there aren't getting a full signal. And so there's a little bit of gradient going on in the display. But it's not a huge deal. I'm probably going to use this for an actual, just like a dashboard of sorts for my servers and stuff at home. So that's not going to bother me. I can fix it. It sounds like the issue is, I can take that tape again and I can cut off another little bit and try to play with it a little bit more, moving it ultimately. If I go back here again, I can take that tape there and I can work on testing out some positions, moving it maybe a bit more to the left or cutting off a little bit more of the strip, doing something to ultimately get all the signals. And I might try that. I'm just happy this is actually working as good as it is now at this point, from going from nothing to me looking online to see where I needed to recycle it to ultimately getting it fixed. So yeah, that's really about it. Again, this is much less of a how-to and much more of a just process that I took, I guess, to fixing this TV. So hopefully maybe giving you a little bit of confidence, if you needed it, to try to tackle something like this yourself. These new TVs are, as long as the panel itself isn't broken, usually these TVs are not too bad to fix. The simplest case is, replacing one of the main boards. If the T-Con itself had been bad, that would have been a real quick, 5-minute fix, and the T-Con board cost me $10. But overall, I probably overpaid a little bit for the TV when it was broken, but the TV was $45. The T-Con was $10. I didn't really need the T-Con anyway, but in the end, $45 or $55 for a 50-inch Vizio 4K that will work really well as a sort of a dashboard for my stuff. So anyway, apologies for the sort of the impromptu-ness, I guess, of the video. I just wanted to record something here real quick before I buttoned up the rest of the TV and just kind of show you what we did. So yeah, anyway, if you have questions or if you can help to explain exactly how this is working by isolating some of those pins, I'd love to hear it. From what I read online, it sounds like there's a lot of redundancy in some of those signal pins. I guess they take different paths, through the display, and sometimes there's a lot of sort of resistance or interference going on, so providing duplicate signal helps to maybe cross-cancel some of that noise. I don't really know. If you have a good, solid answer, I'd love to hear it. In either case, though, I'm happy this is working, and yeah, that's it. So once again, thanks for watching. I know this isn't a gaming console fix. I may use this TV for other consoles to plug into it to test it out. Or this is just a random video of something that's not gaming, just like the iPhone video from a couple months ago. So with that, thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.